What's up, everybody? It's me, Adam S. League Dad. Today's the last day as Copperhead's GM in the Ultimates in a couple hours against the Wraiths. So, you know, 2 quarterbacks I drafted. For those of you who don't seem to be aware of that. My joke has been it's a roster led by this amazing core of people that Dermot and I drafted, and also the Copperheads. Because weirdly enough, as some of you don't know, I was the co-GM of Yellowknife before I became Copperhead's GM. Dermot was in the War Room. So there's actually a lot of crossover between these teams. We really did draft, Cooter Bixby, and Nate Swift, and Johnny Snuggles, and a couple of the other players who have now grown into, that's not to take away credit from Yellowknife, unless they beat us, in which case I'm going to go ahead and take away credit from Yellowknife and claim it all for myself. I actually tried to use the smack talk on one of Yellowknife's GMs the other day, and only found out afterwards that I think he was completely unaware that it had happened, because it was before his time. Yeah. Which, made it much less effective. Other than that, Ultimini and Ultimus here in a couple hours, as I mentioned. For T-minus 4 hours. Find out who this season's champions are, and then we'll take a deep breath and we'll plunge into absolute goddamn fucking chaos. I think the season 22 group is over 300 now, and there's still more. I think there's been like 3 new people today. Like it's still moving, and one of the DSFL teams just got announced, the Dallas Bird Dogs, run by Gucci and Kyle. So, big props to them. Had a lot going on with, as I'm getting ready for my post-GM, sort of what I'm going to do, and talking to people, and writing articles. I'm getting a lot of feedback from people who are thinking about being expansion GMs when the NSFL inevitably adds at least 2 teams. So that's good. If you haven't seen it, go check in the media article section for So You Want to Be an Expansion GM, where I kind of go through, from my perspective and experience as an expansion GM, like all the different things you deal with, go through, and hopefully it gives somebody an idea if they're thinking about applying, and here's a general picture of what it's actually going to look like. Do you really want this? So, hopefully that helps. And I'll reiterate what I've said a couple of times. If anybody is interested in being an expansion GM and you want to bounce ideas, please hit me up. I've been through this process. I know what to do. I can help you out. I've looked for places. I'm totally willing to come in and help you out with locations and branding and colors and ideas and things like that. So use my experience. I always want to see the league bettered, and some expansion teams that are ready to hit the ground running, eyes open and ready to go. That's the league in a better position for me. So let me know. Other than that, I've got some questions, and then some questions. Yeah, I'm sure I'll tool around a little bit here. Noises. All right. Here we go. Let's start with Butters. What was your favorite moment as the Austin GM? Weirdly enough, I get this question a lot anyway, not even just on my last day. Well, it might be in a couple hours. If we win the Ultimates, it would be hard for me to be like, that's not my favorite moment. But just the fact that we're here is a great moment for me. Just the fact that we built this thing to what it is now, and you got to see a little bit more of that than most people did. You were with us for a season. before the fucking. And then, yeah, I'm just the real copperheads are the friends we made along the way. How much faith do you have in Net and all future Austin GMs? Well, Net and Moody, I have a ton of faith in. We wouldn't be having this conversation if I didn't. Regardless of my real life time and effort situation, if I didn't feel like we had capable people to step up, I would slog along as best I could. So yeah, I have all faith in the world in them. The future we'll see. I have enough faith to assume that if and when they eventually step down, they'll pick good replacements as well. Who knows? I might be ready to be it, the next replacement at that point. You never know. You don't know what the future holds. Do you expect the NSFL to expand again? I like that I did it already. I've already answered. Yes, the math is... Alright, let me explain this to people who maybe didn't see it. I kind of broke it down in Gen Chat last night, which is that in Season 15 we expanded by 2 teams after we had an NFL class. It was 120-ish people, give or take. So we didn't have like a giant class before that, and we didn't have a giant class after that. So it was built entirely on that. To the point that even then we didn't expand DSFL, we just opened up the 2 lot teams. So now we had the Season 21 class, which is about to get drafted, and that was 70 plus people. I think still 70 plus actives. I didn't do any scouting this season, so I'd have to double check. And then we've got the NFL class, which 300 people have signed up. Yes, I see you. You know I'm filming a video, right? Yeah. Hi. Yeah. So that on top of that says, yes, we're going to expand. And depending on how many of them stay active and stick around, that answer might be we're expanding by 4. Because you have like a max of like 20 actives per team. So if a significant number of them stick around, expanding by 2 might not even be enough. I know it's scary and oh my god, we don't want to go too far and blah 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 blah, but we also don't want to put ourselves in a situation where we have to scramble to find places for active people to go. So I presume, given how proactive the current incarnation of HO is, and its recently reaffirmed leader, that they're building plans for both 2 and 4. That's just my assumption, and I'm pretty sure I'm right. But yes, I fully expect it to expand. Fully, 100% bank on it. Thank you for your questions, sir. It was lovely having you in our lockdown for a year. Sorry it didn't work out for all the reasons it didn't work out, but I'm glad you're doing really well in San Jose. Bex, speaking of proactive leaders, if all of the NSFL teams were represented by food, okay, I immediately like this question. I don't know where the other half is going. What food would each team be represented by? Huh. Man. Okay. My brain immediately wants to go to like what would make sense culturally. Like Austin could say is represented by barbecue, both because I love barbecue. In fact, I did have some barbecue this week. I broke my no pork in 2020 thing and actually had some barbecue on Monday. It was delicious. It was just so delicious. I was like, oh yeah, I remember this. I'm gonna keep going to the no pork thing, but I'll probably just have something very occasionally. But yeah, Austin and barbecue go hand in hand. NOLA, there's all kinds of dishes you could give. Dirty rice is the first thing that comes to mind. I love making dirty rice. It's delicious. It's very normal for the region. Yeah, I want to go to like the stuff that is kind of there, except like Yellowknife, which I don't know what their regional dishes would be because they don't really have any region. I don't know, fucking whale blubber. I don't know. Baltimore crabs, obviously. yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to separate the real world cultural aspects of food from the like league cultural aspects of each team. Like I don't know. You've stumped me a little bit on this one. Any advice for the many new faces in the league? Ask questions. Always ask questions. You'll find people who can answer. You might get 6 answers, but you'll find people who can answer. Just keep asking questions. Keep putting in effort. You'll be fine. You'll get it. There's so many of us that are here to help you. So yeah, just keep going. Just keep swimming. uh, what will you miss most about GMing? Kind of making the final calls. Because there's a lot of things that I'm like, I'll still be able to do. I can still help grow people's ability to do things and culturally within the league, and I can still. There are things that I can do that I really couldn't do as a GM. I couldn't run the Smithster account as a GM. You know, I can't be a rumor monger if I already know stuff, or if I'm clearly, on management. I can't act out as much when I have to be a face of the league. So there are things that I won't miss. Uh, but I think, and there are things that I'll still be able to do. I don't know, yelling at GMs who have stupid ass ideas. I assume that's what you think the thing I'm gonna miss is. uh, yeah, making the final call, the puzzle, the strategic implications, and all the different things that swirl into that moment where you're like, nope, this is where we're going, and we go that way. Right or wrong, make that decision. I think that's what I'll miss. Is it's a lot of fun to have. It's a lot of pressure, but it's a lot of fun to have that. Thank you for your questions, Bex, and your continued run as commissioner. Happy that got. You know how I feel about that. I've talked to you about it, so I'm excited to see where we go from here. Opera Phantom, rookie sensation JQ, who I'm going to tell you a secret. Nobody from management listened. You're a finalist for a couple of awards. And by secret, I mean thing that everybody can figure out anyway on their own. Biggest surprise player and team in the NSFL. You know I'm going to say you. A rookie quarterback coming in and having that kind of season is a massive surprise. So, but no, I'm going to give a shout out. Maybe not surprise really, but I'm going to call it that. Wayne How over in Philly. We traded him away because we just had too many things going on and too many people, and he was going through a period where he couldn't be active, and then boom, it clicked in Philly like I was hoping it would, and now he's been, according to Hall, he's been their most active person, which is awesome. Had a huge breakout year, finalist for that award. Oh no, I'm giving things away. Just having a great time there apparently, so that it makes me very happy, and I think he should definitely be viewed as the most surprised player for a lot of people, and I'm really glad that happened that way. Surprise team? I don't know. Chicago? Like, we all knew they were going to be bad, but nobody could have seen, like, 4 wins over major playoff teams. Like, that was amazing. It was so memey. So I'm going to go with that. Yeah. Go Chicago. I'm excited to see where you go from here, including not in Chicago. Biggest disappointments? I don't know. Anybody really disappoint? I think everyone kind of figured out what was going to happen ahead of time. You can't really say, oh, Arizona was disappointing because they missed the playoffs, because, I mean, they lost out in a 3-way tie. San Jose was about where we thought they'd be, competing, but not ready yet. Maybe, I mean, I know there were people who think maybe Baltimore was a little disappointing, but then when you look down their schedule and kind of break it down, in terms of what it is and look at their roster, no, they went about as far as they were going to go. Recruiting, you can't say was disappointing. We've had a year that's probably our third or fourth best recruiting year ever, followed immediately by the biggest draft class we've ever had. Like that is 2 recruiting classes that basically comprises 5 or 6. Like that's huge and massive for the league. So that's not a disappointment. I mean, there's the fact that we had the kind of the worst scandal in league history. I guess you could call that the biggest disappointment, but you'd be disappointed in a person who's no longer here, or you can keep moving forward. Because it doesn't matter. I can't really be disappointed by it because it's done. It's over. It's back there. Like, yeah, we already went through it, but like, it's good to check back and see where you come from, but don't focus behind you because you're going this direction, not that direction. So I don't want to call it a disappointment so much as like just a bad thing that happened and we're done and we're moving on. And hopefully we've put that to rest. So, yeah. What will be the biggest change on the NSFL with all these new players? Well, other than expansion, I assume we're going to have a lot more job positions available. You're going to need more bankers. You're going to need more updaters. I'm working behind the scenes with a couple of people in a couple of projects. I've said this before, and now that I'm stepping down today, I'm really going to kick those into overdrive and see if I can try to add some spice to the league in terms of stuff you can do with money and things like that. I think HO is planning to expand a little bit to 7, like full time. I know they're only sometimes at 7, but I think they're doing that. I think. I don't know. We'll see. I'm betting that the biggest change is the one we're not going to see coming. That's a way to sound deep, but not really answer the question. Thank you for your questions, bro. The Frown Clown. You're new. Oh, Rainier Wolfcastle. Oh, hello. Thank you, new person asking questions. How you doing? What's your favorite breakfast food? Oh, I think the one I eat most commonly is like eggs and toast. But is everyone my favorite? Yes, the wife chimes in. Biscuits and gravy, probably, huh? No. What was that thing in St. George? My breakfast that intimidated me. It was like Sherry's Jubilee pancakes. I'm never intimidated by food, but as this was coming out of the kitchen, I was like, oh! So I'm going to go with that. Weirdly enough. We're going to go back there at some point. Do you eat this breakfast? A, every morning? No. B, every game morning? No. C, other special occasions? I'll go with C. Or D, never. How can something be your favorite if you've never eaten it?
Gotta have goals.
Gotta have goals. Squad goals. Thank you for your questions. I look forward to more. And welcome to the league. Moody! Now you are retiring. What is the one thing you want to say that you've held back on?
Don't ask that.
That's a dangerous question. I don't know. Don't take away my media article ideas. Whew. What is one thing I want to say that I've held back on? I don't know, but I'm sure we'll hear. How happy, sad, are you about winning, losing the Ultimates? I would be absolutely ecstatic if we win. If we lose, we lose. We're on the road against a team that went 7-0 at home. Like it's it is what it is. I'm very, very happy that we're in a position that we're threats for the Ultimates for the next 5 or 6 seasons in a row, and that's really what I always wanted. So that's what I'm actually happy about. whatever trophies we happen to collect along the way. Awesome. Who will you argue with now that you are no longer GMing with Joe? Oh, I'll find some people. I'm me. I'll find some people. I'll find some people. Just wait till you get in GM chat and you get to see what we were talking about. Thank you, Moody, for the questions. You know I appreciate you, bud. Bacon Brother, Mertzy. Biggest regret from Austin. Biggest regret. I don't know. I know. I know what my biggest regret is. And maybe I'm being too harsh on myself here. But I had a full season where I probably could have locked down Run before it got to the end of the season. And it probably would have happened. But I had just assumed he was with us the whole way. And so I let it go. So don't take things for granted, I guess. That's So there you go. That's my biggest regret. Along with not killing you all. Wait, no, I'm not allowed to say that. No. Yeah, that's my biggest regret. I'm obviously not happy with how that worked out. Thus, the attempt at humor, which wasn't very good. It's definitely on the lower end of my joke scale. My joke scale goes pretty low to begin with. But yeah, there you go. I can admit my mistakes. I have no problem with that. What do you look forward to most next season? Rumors and seeing all the craziness and seeing how the DSFL works and how many of these people stick around. And because as more of these people stick around throughout the season, you're gonna like feel that ramp up as it becomes more and more real. And I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to seeing other people make the decisions and kind of getting to play around a little bit more. Maybe write some more articles. I got some ideas in the pipe. Looking forward to seeing how we move forward as a league. And yeah, that stuff. Mercy, thank you for your questions. I appreciate you. And fuck you for making me think. Not really though, Upper Net, my buddy Net. Oh, I accidentally clicked on your signature, which is hilarious. And is that Michael Irvin? I didn't realize that. Thoughts on the new DSFL expansion GMs? I saw the one announcement because it was our guy, but I didn't see like a full announcement. Are there more GMs than just them announced? Is that? Oh, let me go look real quick. Let's go get informed. I don't know why I was dancing to that. Announcements. So we announced the Dallas Bird Dogs. Did we announce the others? Did we fully announce the others? So is it just them then? Right? Maybe? Maybe, right? Maybe? Right? Maybe? Oh, no. They've been fully announced. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to click on it now. Have you announced we've decided our DSL GMs? Gucci and Deadly Player. Okay. Alright. They will announce the location branding, and Gucci obviously announced Kyle as his co-DM, and the Dallas Bird Dogs, and Deadly Player hasn't. So I'm not going to bug him about that. Deadly Player's he was part of the Sim team recently. Might still be, as far as I know. Yeah, another good choice. Yeah, I like these choices. They're definitely good. They've got they're not. It's not like I got announced as a DSL GM. It's not a bunch of older retreads. You get newer blood, people coming in and helping out even newer blood. So I think that's good. That's always a good thing for the DSL. And plus, you're going to get people sort of training up to possibly be NSFL GMs in the future. So also good. Yeah, very happy with these choices. So way to go, HO. Do you like the Dallas Bird Dogs branding? Yes, I do. I think it's unique and it's original, and it's, for those of you who don't know, there's actually some sense behind it. In that bird dogs are very much a southern thing, and the city of Dallas has a long history with nicknaming things with bird in the name. I know that sounds weird, but so there's like a tie into the location of the team. So there you go. Yeah, I like the branding. You're not gonna find bird dogs in 100 other sim leagues, so that's cool. And I do like that. I kind of like the idea of taking cities right now that might be major cities like Dallas, where you would normally think, oh, well, shouldn't like an NSFL team be there? But yeah, you're gonna have NSFL teams everywhere in major cities. Having some unique branding for NSFL is going to be a big selling point down the road as we keep going. So having the minor league teams in the major cities at times would be not a bad idea. So yeah, because if this were the real world, Dallas would have probably the main team, and Austin would probably have the minor league team. So having it flipped is pretty cool. I'm super happy with that, because we don't need to retread everything over and over again. We have chances to be super original. So I don't mind taking those chances and enjoying those when we can. And this kind of represents thinking along that path as far as I'm concerned. Thank you for your questions, Ned, and for generally being awesome. Madge, oh man, I haven't heard from you in a bit. How you doing, man? I don't know if you saw him back in PBE. I'm making a real go of it this time. I always recall you in some GM role, whether here or in other leagues. Is this it for you, or will you be taking a break for now? Probably a break for now. Knowing me, it's probably just a break for now. It might be a long break. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna enjoy not doing that for a little bit. But keeping the option open for later down the road. Do you forgive me for being a proper a-hole? Of course. And would Austin ever consider drafting? I'm not gonna try to say that name, and you know I'm not gonna try to say that name. Well, that's out of my hands now. I'm no longer in charge of drafting, but when the prospect comes up, you know I'm going to give glowing reviews. You've always been a great locker room presence. We love you to death. So yeah, good luck with the Ultimates game. That's not a question. Thank you, Madge. All right, let's see here. Do I have the last few questions? I'm going to refresh, and then if I don't have any, I'm going to bug whoever's here. Nobody's here. Okay, that's it. Closing the questions. I'm going to not repeat how I closed questions. Go find that yourself. Mildly entertaining, inappropriate. So, boop, 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 boop. Getting some, ooh, that's late. Getting some feedback from my locker room before I recorded this. I made a little private video thanking everybody, so kind of responded. It's nice. Why are you so coffee? Oh, well, fair. Lots of water and cocaine. What is going on? I get so many. I swear to God, like nothing will happen, nothing will happen, nothing will happen, and then I'll like set aside for like half an hour to record something to come back, and I've got half a dozen notifications, and people trying to talk to me, and a bunch of different things. But it doesn't look like a ton's going on, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one short because I don't want to just ramble on for another half an hour just to get max money. And I'm gonna be around. I'm still gonna be able to make more of these every week. That's the goal. And also I gotta poop, so just keeping it real. So yeah, Ultimates tonight. Very excited. I will see you guys there. And go Copperheads. One last time, this GM. Joe is on the trade block.